My earliest memory was sitting on a bus on the lower deck with my dad, and I think we must have been going to the hospital, and I was asking him about my brother. There was something that was not right, but it was only, with the passage of time that the full extent of what was not right became evident. And my father was absolutely brilliant with him. He really was. Endless patience and very, very loving. I think my mother had more difficulties. It's only ever been suggested that it's a birth injury. At that sort of age, and that sort of time, he would have been described as being sort of mentally subnormal. That was the description. There were a lot of people with disabilities like that and handicaps, but you never ever saw them, or very rarely. It was quite a shocking thing. So there was very little support.
A lot of Joe Public's ideas were that people with learning disabilities were actually ill, mentally ill, that they were mad, and they used to think of the old, the old mental hospitals, locked wards and so on.
Who is Michael? What is he, really? Goodness knows if he could talk or communicate and tell his story. I suppose in some ways I don't know that I'd really like to know. It must be horrific, or could be horrifically painful. He's incarcerated by his disabilities, which cause him to be incarcerated in life, and decisions about his life are made by other people, and you're entirely dependent then on the goodwill and benevolence, kindness, imagination of all these other people.
Take it up and start again. That foot's grown overnight, isn't it? The foot's grown bigger. That's it.
I just can't imagine what it is that's not developed.
You want to brush your hair a little bit? On the screen. He does love after turn a bath, that's a hair brush. That's more hair than me. How do you stick in a pen? Right, that's about
Someone who's had a stroke or a head injury or something, you're talking about rehabilitation for some people, and those people will know because they used to have skills and they've lost them and they need to relearn them. For Michael, he doesn't have to be rehabilitated, just habilitated, and so it's not about learning skills he's lost, it's just about continuing to learn skills.
He can't speak. There's terrific difficulties in walking, and sometimes watching him walk, his eyesight and watching where he's going, he doesn't actually look down as such. He sort of looks down obliquely. It's great, it's very difficult for him.
yeah.
He told me to go outside.
No, he's sitting here on breakfast. What about that? It's wet.
He wouldn't be able to get food for himself, wouldn't be able to prepare the food. And the only thing that was where he's extremely or very socialised is in eating, and that's because that was very important to my parents. That he could eat properly. So he was sort of trained, how to use a fork and a spoon, etc. Socialising is his speciality, and also directing people. Like he'll tell people when they should clear the table, and he'll want to help them do things like that. Tomorrow, the times every hour, aren't they?
They're every hour. It's about.
No, it's mine.
No, it's Myra's.
Thank you.
No, they are every hour.
Do you want a drink?
No, thank you. No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah,
It's interesting watching people's reactions to him, because some people are absolutely fantastic. There's this big bloke, with arms and legs flailing all over the place, not speaking properly, greeting them, and some people just take it as a matter of course. Some people are a bit shocked.
Same?
Yeah. Yes. One fizzy water.
And fizzy water.
Yeah. What are you going to have? Girls. Through.
he's a people person. He likes meeting people, and when you go out, he chats to everyone. And mostly people do chat back to him. It's not very often that people are a bit startled, because sometimes he's a bit in your face, he's because he's so pleased to see everybody, he doesn't always sort of stand back and wait to be introduced. He's in the front, and he always likes to shake people's hand and stuff.
How are you? Good? Good. I'll park over there. Alright, see you in a moment.
Oh, it's one jumper, I see.
Is
Oh,
it?
very clever. Okay, Mikey.
You mean what, no
It's-
shirt underneath?
No, there's a shirt. Sorry, I'm just rolling your sleeves up. Okay.
A lot of the things centre around meals, drinking, socialising, for everybody here, even the more able clients. None of them look their age. You go and see any of them, they look like 30 years younger than what they are. But their biggest worry is, will my meal come at 1 o'clock, or will it be at 1 minute past 1? That's all I have to worry about. There's always somebody that will clothe me, there's always food going to be available, but will it be on time?
Your bedroom is sliced bread. Hello, Archie. Yeah.
Attention span's never a strong point with anybody with learning disability, unfortunately. Even if it's a meal, but that's about it. Meals, 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 and meals a meal. You can't miss those.
Guilt, sort of sense of having failed.
Good morning, young man.
He knows me well, and people say say to him, it's your brother, and he recognises me.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go on.
And that's very nice. Now you can see what you're doing.
I don't think we wished.
It wasn't what I would have wanted, obviously, because he was I've never spoken a word. Well, I've spoken to him, but he's never said anything to me in all of these years. Funnily enough, that reminds me, my father kept a bottle of champagne for the time that he was going to break that open as and when Michael said his first word, which he never did. And I think the champagne went bad.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Michael. Bye.
Right. See you tomorrow.
The best I can do is sort of give him a kiss. He'll put his arm around me occasionally, put his hand on my head and say, "Oh," and that's it. And there is no real communication, unfortunately.
I mean, he waves goodbye, but I mean, I don't think he's that upset. He knows that I think they're there. It's a nice feeling that they're going to come back, and he really looks forward to them coming. And when he goes there, he's a little bit quiet for 5 minutes, but then he usually comes round. Right, yes, it's you. Yeah, do you think you look? And you're going to be beautiful. Yeah. You're going up to your room in a minute, are you?
One never really knows what goes on, and the occasional, the fleeting visits, etc., don't ever fully describe what the reality is and how well he's able to cope, how well his needs are met.
In the context where he has a difficulty communicating his needs to other people, there's a degree of self-awareness in that, because he may want to change a situation or make his needs known to someone and he can't. He can through behaviour and gesture and mannerism and taking people to the kitchen to get a cup of tea or something. But other than that's a difficulty for him.
How are you, right? Fine, thank you, darling.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
So he's affected by that. Whether to what degree he's got self-awareness where he would dwell on it and reflect on it and think this is not a good thing, I think that's possibly unlikely.
If you want something, you don't get it, and you can't express discontent, well, you actually come to terms with it, don't you?
It's quite a humbling experience being with someone like that, because, you know, if they can be happy, you know, and all the things that he has to face up to every day, it's no bad thing really, I don't think.
I'd think the nicest thing to say is he's quite happy in his own world. All his needs are met. He goes out quite often.
Yeah, you're going to write this report for me. What do you mean? What? Are you trying to make me go out? I'm busy. You write this and I'll go out. Oh no! Fluffy. Yeah. What is it? Eh? What is it? Oh, it's fluffy. Any time. Thank you.
I don't think he's necessarily aware that I'm not the same as everybody else.
I mean, that's an interesting question. Are you aware of your own disabilities, and would that upset you? I mean, judging from his general demeanour and how happy and sort of he is generally, I don't think it bothers him in the slightest, so long as there are people there to sort of look after him.
Always says electricity, that man.
He's made his life there, and you know, it's a lot better than it ever was there.
I think he's just a big personality with a big heart, you know, and he's so friendly and so nice, and you just want to squeeze him and cuddle him, you know.
Such a nice man, and he's so jolly, and you know, he makes you feel good sometimes when you get a bit down and he starts coming around. And
Yeah, it's lovely. He's no harm to anybody, is he?
Yeah, he seems very happy actually.
Yeah.
And that's really all that one would want, that he, you know, he's not unhappy, or that nothing makes him unhappy.
You need to accept that Michael is his own person, and because he doesn't, you know how to count to 10 or, you know, have a pocket with a purse in it, it doesn't make any difference to Michael's life. He's happy, and that, I think, is the bottom line. He's a jolly sort of person, and he's very loving.
You read that one?
It's for me to read now. I read a bit about that.
We mess about, he shows me his paper, he points to a picture of a lady, or he'll point to the picture of a lady and go, oh, you know, and it's all fun, it's all real fun for him.
Is that a girlfriend? Look at this, look. What is this one?
It would have been a, yeah, yes. Very much so, very much so. And those sort of things, they really amuse him. You know, he really does laugh.
What happened? Oh, got a kiss.
I think the reality is that the majority of people that work in those environments are not trained, and they go there for personal reasons. A lot of them have got enormous compassion, a lot of sensibilities, and there have been some fantastic people working with Michael. I can't praise them enough. Really, they have a sense of welcoming him and treating him like a perfectly normal person.
he usually goes to bed and he's sleep between 9:30, 10 o'clock.
It was quite funny when I took him on holiday, when we went to this bed and breakfast, because we had a twin room, and he goes to bed and just goes to sleep, and I sort of read, and when he first goes to sleep, he snores like mad. I was thinking, oh God, I'll never get to sleep. But once he's asleep properly, he stops, thank goodness, because it's quite loud. But I mean, he doesn't breathe very well, so it's not surprising that he doesn't really snore louder and longer than he did. But it was quite good that he stopped. I think I'm for the whole week of not sleeping.
You do it. You do it. Come on, try my day. Don't pull my hair. Don't pull my hair. Don't pull my hair.
He could be awake most of the night. He tends to be in and out of the room most of the night anyway. He's not a really good sleeper.
Oh dear. Okay. Careful. Ow! I can't wait. Yeah, I am. Night night. See you tomorrow. Good night, Michael. Good night, Michael. Night night. What's he taught you?
Oh, another very good question, penetrating question. I can't answer that off the cuff. That's something I think about. But I think, yeah, I can't answer that now. A great deal, I think. I think to be very much less critical of people, just because there's so much, that one is not able to do. Very easy to be critical of people, and how do you accommodate people with, major disabilities into your life? You know better than they are, and yet they are, they have so little by comparison, but maybe they have more in another way.
They're people exactly the same as everyone else, and should be given every opportunity, and should be allowed, if you like, for want of a better word, to be part of the real world.
I think it's just a way of life that he accepts, really.
My brother, a singular person, he is what you see. Absolutely. And, best is a happy and loving fellow.